When the soldiers came, we were at home, we'd just said our prayers and we were about to eat. Our dog, Telmo, he went for them. He was barking so much that the first soldier swung a rifle at his head. Telmo made a horrible noise and there was so much blood. But we didn't move. We daren't. He just lay there with his head smashed, looking at me. He must have been in so much pain, but I didn't move. I was so frightened. Papa stood up and they pushed him to one side, told him to wait his turn, that they'd have use of him later. They looked at Mama and me, and one of them gave an order to tie Mama to her chair. All I remember is we were all screaming, and they told us to be quiet or they'd shoot my brother. Two of them went either side of Papa and pushed him against a wall. I just stood there, waiting. I knew what was going to happen. They did it to all the girls before they took them to the camps. The one in charge came over to me and started stroking my face and telling me how beautiful I was. I couldn't look at him, but I could smell him. He smelt rancid. He smelt of death. All I could hear was Mama and Papa both crying, both pleading. The rancid one told me to go and lie on the bed. I was so frightened I could barely breathe. He ripped my skirt and turned to Papa, telling him what a beautiful daughter he had, and Papa agreed. He held my chin and said there must have been many times when Papa wished that I was his wife, not the old hag in the chair. Papa spat in his face and I cried, "Papa, no!" But the soldier just laughed. He turned to the others and said, "Why don't we give him a present, a present of his daughter?" The two men holding Papa pushed him over to me. They were all laughing. They were shouting, "Go on, old man. Show us you're one of us." Papa was fighting and struggling as they pulled off his clothes. I closed my eyes. They pushed him onto me. I could feel his weight, his breath on my face. He was pleading with them, asking if they were fathers, begging for mercy, that they could do anything to him but not make him do this. And still, they laughed. The rancid one came close to our faces and said that if Papa didn't do it, then he'd kill us both with the same bullet. Again, Papa pleaded, but the soldier cocked his gun. We both knew. I said, "Let me die, Papa. Let me die." He stood up and said, "Look at me. You can see I am so soft. I'm so frightened. I cannot make my body perform what it does not have the heart to do." I opened my eyes. Papa stood there, naked. He looked like an animal, fearful of its brutal owner. The soldier put his gun on Father's, and said, "You have 2 minutes. If I have to take over, when I'm done, I'll kill her." All I could see was Papa's tears. He started rubbing himself and I cried, "Papa, no, please, Papa, let me die." And as the soldiers started their slow hand clap, my father lay on me. He said, "You must live, little one. please forgive me. I never once closed my eyes. The whole time he was, I never once closed my eyes. His tears washed my face, but his eyes were... He couldn't look at me. And then suddenly he was gone. I haven't seen him since. The remaining soldiers took their turn. My mother was screaming so much they shot my brother. His foot landed on her feet, her white apron. And as I lay there, looking into their faces, I realised I could feel nothing. And I never would feel anything again. All I would ever see was my papa's twisted eyes.